wealth, prosperity, marriage, honor, business. In all the spheres of life, seventh house is very important. Seventh house lordship and seventh house positive planet. And divine aspect of Jupiter, Venus, Moon to the seventh house. Strengthen the seventh house effect. Actually, seventh house signifies partnership business. It is the marriage, it is the spouse, it is wealth of business. It is name and frame of the natives. It is the 10th from 10th in the Bhavat Bhavam. And 9 from the 11th. From the success, it is the Navam Bhav, 9th Bhav. So 10 from 10th and 9 from 11th. So this house, 7th house, is very important. It is the fortune of the success and also name and frame. Seventh house lordship of seventh house. How it is posited in the chart. It may be exalted, own sign or friend sign. Reveals the strength of seventh house. And the posited planet, which planet is posited? Maybe Jupiter, maybe Venus, maybe Mars, maybe Mercury, any type of planet, or any aspecting coming to the seventh house. If benefic aspect coming like Jupiter, like that of Venus, Moon, Mercury, it enhances the strength of seventh house. But malefic aspect from Rahu, Ketu, Saturn may diminish the strength of seventh house. Seventh house, no doubt, the marriage, but it is also the business, relationship with the people, relationship with the outer world. That means international relationship is there. Seventh house is people also. Now, seventh house Lord, when posited in different house, first house, second house, third house, fourth house, fifth house, and so on, up to 12th house. So this is how from this placement that bar chart reveals the enlightenment of the particular house energy, how that house will help in the native in near future. Generally, seventh house Lord, we maximum deals with the marriage purpose. The seventh house also signifies the how the spouse looks like. Seventh house is the business. In case of any kind of business, we check the strength of seventh house. So seventh house gives wealth, seventh house gives prosperity, seventh house gives honor and happiness. Now coming to the chart, from first house to 12th house, in different house, how seventh house Lord gives the result. And always we have to remember in our mind which planet is posited in the seventh house. Now coming to the chart to make it clarity. To the chart, the seventh house Lord from here posited in first house. First house is the ascendant, Lagna. It is the soul. It is the Tonu Bhava, that means body strength. It is the self-expression. It is the self-deed. All are there in first house. And what is seventh house? Seventh house is people. Seventh house is partnership business. Seventh house is name and fame. It is 10th from the 10th. First, second, third, fourth, 5th, 6th, 7th, 8th, 9th, 10th. So name and fame of the work. So it is name and fame house. Not only that, from 11th house it is the 9th house. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. So it is the bhagyabhav of success. It is the fortune of success. It is the fortune of profit. It is the fortune of gain. So 7th house is very important. 7th house signifies marriage. 7th house signifies how the spouse look like. 7th house signifies the support of spouse, how it is posited. It is exalted, it is own sign or friend sign, giving good help from 7th house. But if 7th house lord is weakly placed, may not give so much support. Not only that, ascendant lord and moon both should be strong in the chart. Now 7th house lord in first house. First house appearance, first house deed, self deed, first house glamour, first house intellect, all will be increased. Native's personality get enhanced. Generally 7th house lord when posited in first house, early marriage and native gets support from the marriage also. Also in partnership business, native get flourishment when there is no malefic in 7th house or first house. And 7th house lord strongly posited in first house. So native may be wealthy, native may be happier, native gets prosperity in life. It depends upon which house is. It is Kalpurusha Kundali, so it is Aries sign. Mesh. It may be Taurus, it may be Gemini, it may be Cancer, it may be Leo. In every case, that house nature will be reflected. If Aries, Taurus, Leo, etc. is there, then the sexual bonding, that connection may be also theirs. But if it is the Jupiterian sign, Sagittarius, Pisces, then that kind of influence may not be there. Now coming to the second house. Second house is wealth, finance, food, status, prosperity, family happiness. The 7th house lord in the second house. Naturally it is good, but first, second, third, fourth, fifth, sixth, seventh, eighth. It is the 8th house from the 7th house. So obstacle from 7th. So not very good in Bhavat Bhavam. In the second house, not very good already you told as per 8th house from the 7th house. So may not giving good result. But if the second house lord is strongly posited in the chart and the 7th house lord is here and there is no affliction, papkattari, malefic aspect is not there, only benefic conjunction or benefic aspect of Jupiter, Venus, Mercury, Moon is there, then there will be happiness. The native gets support from the people. Native gets support from the spouse. Native after marriage, family enlargement it shows. 7th house lord in the second house. Family happiness, family enlargement will be there. It is also to be checked how 11th house is there. Which planet is posited in the 11th house. And any connection with the second 11, that to be checked. Second house or 11th house may change their places, Binimoy joke, that will be benefited. And it is gets too much wealth, good spouse, and rather financial help, and other help of the spouse. Now coming to the third house of creations, courage, willpower, communication, skill. Here seventh house Lord is posited. Generally seventh house Lord in the third house, it gets supports from the spouse, it gets supports from the people, it gets supports from the partners. So if this is under malefic, then there may be some sexual connection bonding. But if there is no malefic, there is no afflictions, only beneficial planet like Jupiter, Venus, Mercury, Moon giving the aspect on third house, then the native will success. Native may be a good writer, native may be a good cricketer, native may be a good celebrity when seventh house Lord strongly posited in third house. Now seventh house Lord coming to the fourth house. Fourth house is mother nurturing house, mother house rather. It is the house of happiness. It is house of comfort, luxury, property, real estate business, all are there, vehicles. Now seventh house Lord coming to the fourth house. In the mother house, the spouse is coming. So if there is no affliction, it will be very smooth family life. Mother accept the spouse, also spouse aspect the mother. But if it is affliction under papkattari, under malefic, then relationship with the mother and spouse may not be good. So family unhappiness may be there. But generally, seventh house Lord, when strongly placed in the fourth house, without any affliction, the spouse may be very aesthetic person. Here the Karak Ghar of Venus, and he makes the house or makes the native family more prosperity and helping attitude will be there, and cordial relations with the mother and the spouse. Now coming to the fifth house of talent, seventh house Lord is posited. Fifth house is the signification of love, romance, speculations, wealth, children. So native may be in love marriage when seventh house Lord posited in fifth house, or fifth house, seventh house Lord interchange. But both the house should be free from any malefic, then result will come. Seventh house Lord, it is the spouse giving the support to the talent of the native. Native becomes talented, native becomes creative person, native become famous celebrity, native become famous footballer, native become famous cricketers, or others like writer also, media related person also. Now seventh house Lord in the sixth house. It is actually first, second, third, fourth, fifth, sixth, seventh, eighth, ninth, 10, 11, 12th house from seventh house. So it may give some negative effect to the seventh house when seventh house Lord is posited in sixth house as Bhabat Bhavam. It is the 12th from the seventh. Now sixth house signification is Rog Rin Ripu, disease. It is the enemy, it is the debt. All will be repaid when seventh house Lord is very strong. An aspect of divine planet like Jupiter or Venus or Moon is coming. Then native overcome the enmity and crack the competitive examinations by the support of seventh house Lord. That means support of partner, support of people, support of spouse. Coming to the seventh house Lord in seventh house. It may be very good or may not be. That depends upon the planet situation herewith. 7th house Lord posited in 7th house. If it is Jupiter or it may be Mercury, it gives good results. But if it is Mars, then it's 7th aspect on 1st house. Early marriage may be there, but effect will be coming from the inherent nature of Mars. So placement of planet is very important when 7th house Lord posited in 7th house. Generally good effect. Native gets the help of the spouse, people. And from 7th house it aspect the 1st house. The 1st house will be also activated. After marriage, native charisma will be there. Native's glamour will be increased. Native activity in the self-deed will be increased. This is the positive effect. But that should be when 7th house Lord posited in 7th house without any papkattari, without any malefic conjunction, without any malefic aspect of malefic planet like Saturn, Rahu, Ketu, Mars, Sun, etc. Now coming to the 8th house. 8th house actually it is the 7th house from 2nd. Bhavat Bhavam, it is the 2nd from 7th. So wealth of the spouse. It is the wealth of the spouse. When 7th house Lord well placed in the 8th house, then generally 8th house, the spouse is in any type of job, any type of professions. And it is also the house of actually transformations. So native life may be transformed. It is the house of in-laws. So in-law may gives support or may interfere also. It is the occultist. The partner may be an astrologer, may be an occultist, may be tarot reader, may be there. Now 7th house Lord in the 9th house of fortune. After marriage, natives' flourishment will be in career. That may be in business, that may be in job. 7th house Lord in the 9th house. 9th house is the house of father, house of spiritual journey, house of advanced learning, house of distance traveling. Native may travel so many countries or so many places for their job or business with the partners. When 7th house Lord in the 9th house. When there is no malefic, both their conjugal life will be there and they advance their learning, they advance their education and their job profession also. So this is a good combination, 7th house Lord in the 9th house. And if the Jupiter is posited or there is good connection of Venus, then native will be very much wealthy also, fortunate also, lucky also. Now 7th house Lord in the 10th house. 7th house Lord in the 10th house, it is the house of karma. Now the spouse will be generally in some government job, private job or business. That means spouse will support the native when 7th house Lord in the 10th house without any afflictions. Also it depends upon the position of the Jupiter and Venus in the chart. So in the 10th house, when 7th house Lord posited, native professions, native job, native business will also flourish. And native gets highest gain in his profession. That means business, talented work, creative work, high profile job, where name and fame of the job, status of job increases by the support of 7th house. People or spouse or partner. Now 7th house Lord in the 11th house. 11th house is success. 11th house is the gain, profit. It is the friend circle. When 7th house Lord posited in 11th house, friend circle will increase. Is the success in the any kind of profession, business, talented work, creative work. Native will be very much gainer. That may be profit in business, success in jobs, success in other parameters. That means fulfillment of desire will be there. Natives gets children. It is the 7th house Lord in the 11th house. Native enhances family. That will be theirs. If there is any malefic or papkatari, then that matter may be disturbed. But when there is no malefic or affliction, here the family enhancement is theirs. Now 7th house Lord in the 12th house. 12th house actually it is the house of expense, house of loss, house of hospitalization, house of asylum, house of jail, house of spiritual journey. When 7th Lord strongly posited herewith, then the native may get his life smoother by joining with the NGOs, that means Vidhashram, that means nursing homes, that native may invest through his partner in 12th house. If native is always associated with the 7th Lord, then native will perform, native will be accepted in the society very much. But when is any affliction in 12th house, the native relation with spouse may be deteriorated in the 12th house. Generally, 7th Lord posited in 12th house, the connection from the spouse is from different places, distant places in life. So this is how the 7th house Lord gives result in different house when it is placed. To the famous chart of Scarlett Johansson, great Hollywood actress. Date of birth 22/11/1984. Time of birth 12 and place of birth New York. Ascendant is Capricorn, Makar Lagna. And zodiac sign is RISHI, that is Capricorn. Vishik Rashi, Makar Lagna, great chart of Scarlett Johansson, famous Hollywood artist. It is one of the highest paid artists of Hollywood. So much wealth is in her possessions. What is the effect in this chart? The 7th house Lord Moon is posited in the 11th house, well placed with the Sun, Mercury, Ketu conjunctions. Here in the first house, Mars is posited and exalted. That exalted Mars giving the 7th aspect on the 7th house. So it may gives extra energy to the 7th house that may be or may not be good for the native. Here in this chart, the Scarlett Johansson's makes 3 times marriage. Second marriage, she have a daughter, and third marriage, she have a son. So 2 child in second marriage and third marriage. This is owing to 11th house, so much affected, so much strongly placed also. Here Sun, Mercury, Moon, Ketu giving the aspect on the 5th house. And 5th house Rahu is very strong in Taurus sign. So he changes his marriage event but gets success in getting creation. That means child is there. 1 daughter first and then son. 2 child of Scarlett Johansson. Here in the 10th house, the Saturn, actually the 7th house Lord in Kalpurusha Kundali, Saturn, is exalted herewith. So certain help is there in his profession, in his marriage life. So this is the great chart of Scarlett Johansson. Now coming to the chart of Aishwarya Rai Bachchan, date of birth 1st November 1973, time of birth 7:20, place of birth Mangalore, India. It is the Libra sign. The ascendant Lord Venus well placed in Sagittarius sign with Moon and Rahu. But what happens in the 7th house? Mars is posited, and it is his own sign. So Mars is very strong. So 7th Lord Mars is very strong here with posited in the 7th house itself. So this is giving him his good in his career, in his marriage life. Here Mars helping the native Aishwarya Rai. Not only that, the 9th house Saturn Ketu conjunction gives him the wealth, and is a great orator going to the 2nd house Mercury. And Jupiter also present in the 4th house of happiness, and it is the second from Venus. So 4th house married life happiness is there. So here Mars is not so much negative in the chart of Aishwarya Rai owing to the strong Venus, strong Jupiter and other planets in the chart. Coming to the chart of Virat Kohli, the great cricketer of India, ex-captain also. Date of birth 5th November 1988, time of birth 10:28, place of birth Delhi. Is Sagittarius ascendant Dhanu Lagna. And Rashi zodiac sign is Bhargo. Kanya Rashi, Dhanu Lagna, great chart of Virat Kohli. Here the 7th Lord Mercury is posited in the 11th house. So the married life get success. After marriage, success is there in his life. Not only that, the signification of marriage, the planet Venus is posited in the 10th house, conjunction with Moon. And Jupiter from 6th house give the 5th aspect on Moon and Venus. So Moon and Venus is very strong. So 10th house, that means his profession is enlightened after marriage, and also getting the result, the children after their successful marriage life. So this is the great chart of Virat Kohli.